Hi, my name is Grace, and once again, this is the Here Comes Cosmic Hope Show, and we decode the news. First of all, this is a metaphysical show to bring the fascinating art of astrology to, in the sense of Aquarius, the brotherhood and sisterhood of mankind all over the world. That is our dream. So, we will be doing Trump's chart, but just so you have a little background in terms of the philosophy and belief system of the concept of karma, that this is an astrology star script map really is an energy database of your power and energy returning to teach you certain lessons, and also on the positive to enjoy this incredible experience. As Prince would say, what is life? That we are all experiencing this. So we can teach you to decode this reality and events within limits. So let's start with Donald Trump's chart and his campaign. I also, first of all, would like to introduce Helios. And Helios is a word for the sun, and we are going to bring the light and knowledge to let you know that Earth really is a schoolhouse, and it is a place of great learning. Pythagoras in ancient times and other places around the world long ago would teach these subjects of astrology, numerology, musical scales, Pythagoras did, in secret, so therefore he had to wear a mask in front of his students to not reveal his true personhood. But thank God this is the dawning of Aquarius, and Aquarius means the brotherhood, sisterhood of all of mankind, everyone. So let's start. Donald Trump, what's been happening recently?
Well, there has been a certain contingency of the population who has quite an interest in him. At the same time, there are others, particularly women, who are less interested in him as of late.
Yes, and women, in terms of the symbols of astrology, so that you can learn a little bit, and of course you could always get good books out there, that the moon here, this is the symbol for the moon. This is symbol for the moon. In Donald Trump's chart is in opposition, star picture, to his sun. This means him. Together with, his sun is together with the planet Uranus. Uranus rules electricity. It rules someone who has that charisma that just sparkles and lights up, and therefore the person has a certain personality magnetism to that. Meryl Streep has a Sun Uranus together, and she's Academy Award winning star. So Uranus in Donald Trump's chart gives him that spark where people are fascinated with him. And it's in the sign of Gemini. The sun, Uranus, is in Gemini. Gemini means that what he talks about, how he communicates, just either upsets people or they're fascinated. And since it's opposing in star picture to the moon, when the story came down that his wife, there was a photograph of her semi-nude, and so he got very furious. So he went on Twitter. And Uranus Aquarius rules the internet because it's high-tech, progressive subjects. And certainly the computer and now the ancient art of astrology is returning to bring you this new fascinating knowledge, if you don't know about it, so that you know that God, no matter what religion you're into, has given this knowledge to help you go through your lessons so that you can become a finer, more ethical, more aware and discriminating person as to what kind of power you're using and doing to others in relationships, and also what to decode and discriminate what others are doing to you, so that you can hopefully appropriately handle this in balance. Not overkill, not underkill, but with certain balance as to how you're going to react to no matter what lessons you're going to receive. So with that star picture, that certainly, after we heard the story, was Melania and that photograph. And he was so mad that he, on Twitter, put a photograph of Ted Cruz's wife with a sort of grimacing picture of her. So if we could decode that story in Ted Cruz's star map, is that his moon, which is his wife, was in star picture to Mercury in Capricorn. And Ted Cruz's moon is in Libra, which describes his wife. It's a close partnership, marriage. It was in star picture with Mercury and Capricorn. And Mercury means that people are talking about you. How? And Capricorn means publicly, all over the world, which it certainly was. So we can certainly decode those two charts of Cruz and Trump, but also before we predict this particular story and event, you could say that the moon alone, some of the possibilities are real estate, and he certainly is a magnet in real estate. The moon rules the mother. It also rules the public. It rules retail, consumer goods, food, restaurants, and so forth. That the difficulty in prediction is that you can't always tell which one it's going to be. So a few days later, after the wives' stories, we get the real story that the polls are saying the moon, the women in the polls throughout the nation, over 70% did not like Trump. So that is very interesting that is in his star picture, but let's go a little bit further. His sun, Uranus, and the moon are both square in difficult star picture to Saturn, which can block and stop him. And we have the Stop Trump movement. And Saturn, let's show you what that symbol looks like, so you get used to seeing the symbols that we are merely decoding. Saturn, on the downside, can block one. Delays, obstacles, trouble, limitation, lack of money, lack of funds, bankruptcy. That his Saturn and Venus, we got Venus over here, are together in Trump's chart, and they're all blocking his sun, Uranus, and his moon. So I did research because, in my opinion, he is not mature enough, as old as he is, to use these powers sometimes on the positive. He's not really using them because he's using Saturn to put down certain minorities and so forth. And certainly Saturn-Venus means that he's putting down women. And then the Saturn is also in, well, that's the main star picture. So Saturn, Venus, squaring his sun, Uranus, is really describing, and I did research on this, most of the time that picture was absolutely being played out on planet Earth when he had the 4 bankruptcies. The Taj Mahal, Plaza Hotel, then later 2 hotel casinos. That between those star pictures, that is absolutely the star pictures that are coming in, are in right now when that Stop Trump movement started. And that is my hope, that he gets blocked. And since I did the research of the 4 bankruptcies, it is very possible with that Saturn, Venus, and difficult picture to block him, his popularity. Because why is Trump so popular? And back in June of 2015, I told a friend of mine that he had such lucky stars that he was going to get big. And remember, even now they're saying nobody knew, nobody could predict that, because they thought he would disappear after a couple of months. But I said back in June when I looked at his chart when he just got in and entered the race that no, he had such a lucky star to make him so popular. And what is it? It's Sun Uranus, which is his electrifying personality and how he talks and what he says, is a lucky star to Jupiter. And Jupiter rules wealth, increase, lots of. So that means, and also then you could throw in Venus, because Venus is also in that picture, Jupiter, Venus, and lucky star to the Sun, Uranus. And what he talks about, he mesmerizes people, electrifies them, that's the reason why he's so popular. The ones that are for him love him. And by the way, Bernie Sanders has something very similar, and it's in right now. It's being triggered by moving planets that we call transits and progressions. That Bernie Sanders has a Jupiter in Gemini, so he's talking away, lots of verbiage, and lucky star to Venus, Venus in Libra. That's the reason why he has all these followers, and Venus rules love, so they all love him. So you can see how one can decode this reality, even the campaign for the presidency of the United States. But also we'd like to connect this with your lives, that each one of us has these planets in our particular individual star map. And what are the various planets? You want to name the 10?
The 10 planets: the Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Uranus, Saturn, Pluto.
And Neptune. And you could see all the symbols for them, and that each one of us are learning how to use these as well. And when you have lucky stars like LL Cool J, he had a sun in lucky star to Uranus and Pluto, and I think maybe Neptune, and that's the reason why, and his sun was in Capricorn, which means public, and you get famous and you're in authority. He was the host for the Grammys about a month or two ago. And when you see these lucky stars playing down, that means that we have learned individually to learn how to use these planets and lights. And P. Diddy, he has a Venus-Jupiter together, so look at the wealth that he has not occurred not only in music, but also in fashion now. So with this little bit of knowledge, hopefully you will watch the next episode, and we continue with decoding Trump's chart, and also we will sadly decode Prince, who recently died, to see how great he really was and why he was such a loner. So thank you for watching Here Comes Cosmic Health and Helios. Thank you for joining forces here. And here comes Cosmic Health. Godspeed.